Hello, welcome to lesson 11 of the Hebrew course. Today we'll look at exercise 9, which is about other verbal forms, namely the imperative and the infinitives in Hebrew. Now, you can say that, or generally to get the form of the imperfect, so of the imperative, you take the imperfect and then you strip it from the prefix. So, the imperfect is, if the imperfect is an A imperfect, the imperative will have the A. If the imperfect is an O imperfect, the imperative will have the O. So, for instance, yiktol, he will kill. Yiktol is the imperfect. You take away the yi and get ktol. Ktol is then the imperative kill, and so on. As for the infinitive in often has the same form as the imperfect, as the imperative. Sorry, as the imperative second masculine singular. Often the infinitive will be used with a preposition le. And you know, there's two types of infinitives actually in Hebrew. There's the regular infinitive, we call it infinitive construct. It's used pretty much like the English infinitive. Then there's the infinitive absolute, which is a form that's not found in English. This infinitive is used usually to emphasize a verb. So it's put in front of a verb of the same root to emphasize it, which we will see in the exercise. Further, we will see the passive participle. We've seen the active participle calling, but now we'll see the passive participle called, or blessed, or so on. That's characterized by the vowel combination au, as for instance Baruch, blessed. Baruch, incidentally, is a fairly common Jewish name. Baruch Spinoza was a famous philosopher. Maybe you've heard about him, at least his. That he has the first name Baruch, and so on. Good. Let's look at the exercise. So again, we're in exercise 9, and we're now starting with sentence 1. Ketov et hadavrim ha'ele. Write these words. Sorry, that's not what it says. Ketov et hadavrim basefer, it says. Write the words in the book. In the book, with the definite article vanishing there between the preposition and the noun book. 2. Kvor et avicha. Bury your father. Again, regular imperative, masculine singular. Avicha, we would expect maybe avacha, your father, but the noun father, as another couple of short nouns, has the form I in the construct state, and then also because in front of suffixes. So av in the absolute state, avi in the construct state, and in front of suffixes, like here, avicha, your father. 3. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Listen, Israel, Yahweh our God, Yahweh is one. 4. Amru kol ha'etzim lazait, molcha alenu. All the trees said to the olive, rule over us, or be king over us. So this is a fable, talking about the trees and their, about the trees and their discussions. And here the trees are saying, all the trees were saying to the olive, in other words, to the olive tree, rule over us. Now, molcha is actually an imperative form, also masculine singular, as we've seen, except that it's a long imperative form. The masculine singular of the imperative can be can add the ending a without any change in meaning. Molcha alenu, rule over us. 5. Amuru kol ha'etzim el ha'atad meloch alenu. All the trees said to the atad, let me just see the English word for atad. It's a tree. It's a hawthorn, sorry. All the trees said to the hawthorn, rule over us, be king over us. So in the book of Judges, from where where I've taken these sentences from, there is this alternation. First we have the imperative molcha, the form molcha, rule over us, and next time we have it meloch, rule over us. They mean exactly the same. One is longer, lengthened by an a, and the other one is sort of the normal form meloch. Why then is it molcha? Why do we have this kametz chatuf? Well, that's because when you have an ending added, sometimes, or often actually, the vowels of the word will change. Okay. 6. Shiftu et hadal ve'et hayatum. Judge the poor and the fatherless. Shiftu is a plural imperative, just as in the perfect and imperfect, the u indicates the plural. 7. Ish Yehuda Shiftu Beni Uvin Karmi. Man of Judah, meaning, that's a collective meaning, men of Judah, judge between me and between my vineyard. Again, a plural imperative, Shiftu. 8. Im Shamua Tishma Bekol Elohecha Lishmor et Kol Mitzvotav Baruch Ata Ba'ir Uvaruch Ata Basadeh Ve'im Lo Tishma Bekol Elohecha Lishmor et Kol Mitzvotav Arur Ata Ba'ir Ve'arur Ata Basadeh. If you indeed listen to the voice of your God in order to keep, or so that you keep all of his commandments, blessed be you in the city, and blessed be you in the steppe or in the field. And if you do not listen to the voice of your God, meaning obey your God, so that you keep all of his commandments, cursed be you in the city, and cursed be you in the field or in the steppe. Okay, here we have a couple of infinitives absolute. So as I said, the infinitive absolute indicates usually emphasis. It's used in front of a verb of the same root, indicating emphasis. So the second word of this sentence, shamua, is the infinitive absolute. Shamua tishma, if you certainly hear, or if you indeed hear or obey. A couple of words later we have lishmor, in order to keep, or so that you keep. Preposition l with the infinitive, the regular infinitive, which is called the infinitive construct. All of his commandments. His commandments, that's the final word of the first line of sentence 8. Mitzvotav, the av ending is his. Maybe you remember that the yud in the third singular suffix is silent, mitzvotav, and the yud still indicates, it's still there to indicate that the word that the suffix is on is in the plural. Now, this here word is easy to recognize as a plural word because we have the ot ending. Mitzvah is singular, mitzvot is plural. By the way, the Jewish tradition of bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah, meaning son of the commandment or daughter of the commandment, takes this word. Baruch ata ba'ir, blessed be you. Baruch, passive participle, blessed, and so on. 9. Natan Yahweh Elohim et ha'adam began Eden lishmor uta. Again, Natan means to give, but it also often means to put. Yahweh God put the man in the Garden of Eden, to keep it. Uta, object marker, it with the suffix becomes ut, and the suffix here is it in the feminine, since garden is feminine in Hebrew. 10. Shamor tishmoru et mitzvot Yahweh Elohechem. You shall certainly keep the commands of Yahweh your God. Shamor tishmeru. Shamor is the infinitive absolute with emphatic sense here. You shall certainly keep the commandments of Yahweh your God. Again, as always, please read the exercise again by yourself, not listening to this lecture. See how well you can do in translating it. Then you can compare, you can listen to the lecture again and compare it. And be sure to read aloud for yourself, as always, a couple of times to make sure that Hebrew becomes more and more of a language to you, that you know the sounds of it. Thank you.